Hello everybody, this is Harry, and I'm back with a new video today. Today I'm going to be making a video about a map and brochure. This map and brochure is a rack brochure, which means that it's available on racks that would be at different places to encourage people to become interested in the amusement park, or if you're interested in it already, you can see it. So here is the map itself, and I'll be telling you more about this. This is a map of Hersheypark from 1972, and it explains all of the new changes and substantial changes made for the 1972 season. So I'll be getting into this video, into this brochure, not rather than video. We're already in the video, but I'll be getting into that in just a moment. So here we go. Okay, well, before we really get into this brochure, rack brochure, I just want to discuss how things are, because this has a map, and you might consider it to be a Hersheypark map guide, but these would be on racks rather than being given to people in the park. The reason for that is mostly because it's just describing things and doesn't say what anything is for rules and things in the park. So a map guide would actually provide information about that. Now, those were probably handed out the main gate. And if they were, we haven't found anything yet from anybody. I certainly haven't, and I haven't seen anything from anybody else who might have found something along that line. I do have an amphitheater kind of related thing about performances, as well as at other places, from 1975 without a park map. So hence why they probably didn't produce park maps until 1979 officially, although they had the souvenir maps for sale. Now on the rack brochures, they only did that for 3 seasons, 1972, which we see here, 1973, and 1974. I've done a video about 1973, I'll put a link to that, and I will someday do a video about the 1974 rack brochure and map. The only reason why I haven't done that one yet is because that's a much more commonly seen map. It's been on Flickr for a number of years, but I'll link to that. It's also on my website at parkhistories.com, which is included in the library subsection. I'll have pictures of them just to be displayed here briefly as well, so that way you know what I mean by that. Now in 1979, Hersheypark started producing maps in their park information guides, and they've done that every year since. Otherwise, these were the only maps that Hersheypark made that guests would have seen, as far as I know, prior to that year, 1979, and that only would have been from 72 to 74. I don't know if Hersheypark actually did make maps from 75 to 78, but everything that has been found to this date suggests that they did not, and that the only maps they had available were souvenir maps. Now, I don't think that was a plan for Hershey to just get people to buy them, because souvenir maps really aren't intended to be ways to get around the park. I think it was simply just a matter that Hersheypark didn't really need a map per se. And once you were there, their belief would have been it would have been pretty intuitive to get around the park. And that certainly, as the park started to expand and grow, that would be less the case, as the larger the area is, the more information you need to provide about it. So having a map, once especially the park started growing, that certainly was necessary. So without further ado, let's get on and look at this rack brochure. Now let's start with the front cover. For a lot of people, this is the introduction of the pinwheel logo. This is used on the Patriot News front page special section from 1972 about the opening of Hersheypark, and however, it was actually used in 1971 by the company, but this is the first time you really see it in use, in general use. So it's interesting to see that in this form here. And you can see the tagline, "So much is new in 72. Thankful rhyming there. Now, of course, it also says that Hersheypark is a happy experience and that they have a one-price admission plan and that they're open daily from 10:30 a.m. starting May 7th through September 4th of that year. And then you have a picture right here of Carousel Circle with their Beachplatz in the distance there. That building is the Craft Barn, and of course you can see a horse for the carousel. Now I opened the map and opened it to the first inside page, which shows you some things that are new in 1972. And you can see Hersheypark is more than just fun. You can see a drawing of Carousel Circle. And you can see it's just mentioning the Toboggan, the Monster, and the Scrambler, which were 4 new rides, not really 3. And it's worth noting that Hersheypark apparently did not make this brochure. According to several people I've spoken with, an outside company did this. So that'll kind of bring up some reasons for why there are actually another mistake or possibly 2 in here. But it's hence in one way calling the toboggan 1 ride when it was really 2. Now here in this section you have Der Beachplatz. At some point in the next couple of years, Beachplatz is merged into 1 word. But at this point in time it was 2 words, Deitch and Platz. And it means the Pennsylvania Dutch place. This was done specifically so it would be of interest to people who attended Pennsylvania Dutch Days. That was a very popular event up until the mid-70s, and that popularity really drove the theming of this area here. Now, you can see on this side, it discusses the Animal Garden, which was also new. And one of the things that they really liked to push was an oodad, because they even had an oodad at the Animal Garden. So you can see pictures there. And here it speaks about the 1 price admission plan. And that is fair. I mean, I know people didn't like that the park was gated and was going to this, but at that point in time it was fair to say, and maybe it still would be today with price adjustments and things, that it does cost less than if you were riding each ride individually. Nevertheless, there were quite a few people who were resistant to the whole idea. And, for that sense, I don't necessarily blame them, but with the evolution of the park, I think it was a necessary thing for them to do. But I can understand why people would feel differently. And if you want to talk about a little bit of the pros and cons of how you feel about that, feel free to hash it out in the comments. I think it's a good, healthy discussion to have, even though it happened so long ago now. But I think it's still a worthy discussion to have today. So there you go. That's this section of the brochure. Okay, now here is the back side of the brochure. You can see a couple of pictures here of Dry Gulch Railroad, the Skyview, and the Lost River. This would be the last season for the Lost River because it was destroyed by the flood resulting from Hurricane Agnes in June. And you can see it has all the information about the 1 price admission plan and a general admission plan, which entitled people to get into the park and then have to pay per ride to ride. This would be the final season for the general admission plan as well. And then there was a sunset savings plan. All admissions were reduced $1 after 7. And then here's the information about the 1 price admission plan. So there you go for that. That is the back side of the brochure. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed this look at the 1972 rack brochure. For any comments you have about the video, feel free to leave them below. And if to have any discussions about what I mentioned here, I would hope some people do. I understand why you may not really like how Hersheypark changed back then, because I know a number of people don't. But as people have been coming to the park or what have you in different generations now, it's something that is appreciable for my generation, I think. Although it's maybe an unfortunate change for older generations, but I hope that we can have a good discussion in the comments, because at the very least, if nothing else, we all appreciate the history of the amusement park, and it's certainly a fun topic to discuss. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, do hit the like button, and if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.